Hello, everybody. This is Dorcas Chandler at DorcasGazelle.com. Good evening, or whatever time it is. I just hope you're having a great and wonderful day. I told you that I would come back and report some of the things that I've done and some of the things that I wanted to do. And I'm back, and I just want to let you know that sometimes when we make plans, and I've talked about this before, they don't always work out the way that we think they should. When they don't always work out the way that we're anticipating them to uh, work out, sometimes what happens to me is I begin to feel disappointed or feel like that, what did I do wrong? I beat myself up more than what people really realize. And it's not really what someone else needs to realize about you anyway. But I had two experiences that I would like to share with you. One, I rode in a cab. That was a very new experience for me. And I went out thinking that I was going to get some work done on my back so that I could be better, but that didn't happen. And that was also a new experience for me. But I was so excited about doing something new. And so, first of all, let me tell you about the cab ride. I called the cab and made the arrangement to go to the place where I was going to go to get some work done on my body. And it was really, they were very cordial. They came out and they helped me and helped me with my walker, helped me get in the car. They were just very cordial, and they just drove really fast. Oh my goodness. And I guess it's because the dispatcher was going and they probably had other calls that they had to get to. So, anyway, I was just excited to be out and doing something different and pushing past myself. You know, I'm I like to know what I'm doing, but this was an adventure for me. You say a cab ride, Dorcas? Yeah, a cab ride. So, anyway, I got in there and I was just happy that I followed through. And I'm a person that usually will follow through. So I went to the place where I was going to get some work done on my back, so I thought. And so I would be able to walk better because I wanted to surprise a couple of people and let them see that I had been walking. I had been walking in my house for about 2 weeks totally without my walker, and I was just so excited, but I didn't tell anybody. And it wasn't just getting up going to the bathroom walking, but I could literally walk. And I was just so thankful for God for what he was doing in my life, and I was just walking and making sure I'm eating right and exercising and just doing stuff. And it makes me feel good when I can complete a task. And what I mean by that is that even though I started this journey in 2015 and we're now in 2020, I'm still working at it. I'm not a pro at it, but I'm still working at it. But I had come further than I had ever been since 2003. 2003 was when 2002 was when the accident happened. 2003 was when I picked my father up off of the floor when he was dying of cancer. And since 2003, I've been on a walker. Very severe back pains. I mean, severe back pains. And I don't like to talk about my back. I mean, when my friends call, I don't just go into my back, this and that, the other. I just try to push through, and I'm working some things out, and I don't really talk about my disability. And me and Marty was talking about that, and she said, "Well, Dorcas, I think the reason why you don't do it is because you don't want people to feel sorry for you." That is exactly true, because sometimes when you put stuff out there and you start talking to people, they can either make it better or they can make it worse. And so I just like to kind of keep things, I do talk a lot, I do, but certain things I do not share because I don't know what the outcome is going to be or what you're going to say. So anyway, my topic for this session is, how did I get here again? I went out to this new place to, in my mind was to get some work done on my body, and I had taken some medicine the night before because I know that the procedure that I was going to get done, or what I was going to be working on, it was going to leave me sore. And because I've done this before, so I had prepared myself for the journey. And so anyway, I went out to this place and I'm just ready to go. And so I get in and they do an assessment on me. And so the person that was doing the assessment on me, he took my walker away from me and kind of kicked it with his foot and told me, "I want you to touch your toes." And I was like, but, I was trying to talk to him. He said, "No negative comments in here." And I said, "Oh my goodness." So anyway, he said, "Bend over and touch your toes." Now, mind you, I have not been walking without a walker for 2003, and I just started walking a couple of weeks ago. And so when I went to bend over, because no negative talk, I was so wobbly. And I literally thought I was going to fall on my face. And he said, "Is that as far as you can go?" And I was trying to bend down further. But I knew that if I bent down any further, I was going to be on the floor. And that was not going to happen. So he said, "Okay." And then he wanted me to go from left to right, doing these stretches or whatever. And so I was wobbly. Oh my goodness. Because the exercises that I do them in the bed or I do them sitting down. So I wasn't aware that I was even going for exercise. I thought I was going for my back. And so anyway, I didn't know what to say, because when I would try to say something, no negative talk. So then anyway, we proceeded on, and I went, he wanted me to get up on this table, and the table was kind of high, and I was like, oh my God, another table, and so anyway, I started to say something. He said, "No negative talking, no negative talking." And so anyway, I positioned myself, I got up on the table, and then I lay down, and then I start doing some exercises, and some of them that I do here at the house. And I said, "Oh, I do this at home," but he wanted me to slow it down, which I did. And those I was comfortable with. I'm going somewhere with this, because what if it doesn't happen, just like you want it to happen? And how in the world am I getting to a place that I'm not looking to go to? So anyway, I did what I could, and then I wasn't in any pain when I was doing it. I just was very nervous, because I felt like I'm being pushed beyond where I'm comfortable, and that I could not verbalize my emotions and my feelings. So anyway, got down off the table. Then after I got down off the table, I sit down in the chair, I got my walker, I sit down in the chair, and then he wanted me to do some things with my feet. I did those stretches, and then he said, okay, get up. And I was like, oh my God. And so anyway, I got up, and because I'm wanting this to work for me. I'm so into getting better. And so I got up, and then he puts this styrofoam thing down on the floor, right? And when he put the styrofoam thing down on the floor, my feet, my bottom, the back of my feet was on the floor, the heel of my feet, and my toes were on this pointed up. And then he said, I want you to do 3 sets of 30 push-ups on the wall. Now, 3 sets of 30 push-ups on the wall without any support. Oh my goodness. And I started to say, no negative. I couldn't say anything. So 3 sets of 30 mean that 90. That's what it means. And I was trying to say, and I did say earlier, standing bothers me. I told him that when we first started. It bothers me to stand, and it bothers me to walk long distance. None of that meant anything. So when I finished, that nerve was jumping. So the cab came and got me. I felt okay. It was just the nerve. Because I had already taken medicine to be okay. But when I got in the cab to go home, now mind you, I live about 10 minutes from this place where this is going on. When I got in the cab, we're going home and I'm fine. When I got ready to get out of the cab, the nerve was jumping like crazy. I couldn't get my left leg out. It would not cooperate with me. And I'm like, oh God, how did I get here again? And I'm struggling and trying to pull my leg. I got my right leg outside of the cab, and I said, oh, sir, I'm so sorry. And he said, that's okay, take your time. And so I was taking my time, but I knew that they have other things to do besides sit there and watch this lady try to get her leg out of the cab. And then I got my leg out of the cab. I was like, thank you, Jesus. So now I got to unlock my door, and I got to step up. You have to step up to come into my house. I'm like, oh my God. So I step up, I get in my house, I sit down in my kitchen on the chair, wondering how in the world am I going to get into my bedroom. So I said, Dorcas, you need to eat before you leave this kitchen, because how are you going to get back? So I got me some walnuts and I got me some yogurt, and I ate, and my back, that nerve was just jumping like crazy. And I was like, oh my goodness, I'm leaning to the right because the left nerve is just, it was going crazy. So anyway, I ate the yogurt and I ate the walnuts, and I said, God, I need help. And there's nobody here to help me. And so I just stood up and I just laid on my walker again. I remember laying on my walker, not being able to walk. And I said, God, how did I get here again? But you know what? He let me walk. Not upright, but laying on my walker, and he guided me to my bed. And so when he guided me to my bed, it took a minute for me to even put the leg up in the bed. But I had been doing so good. I'm going somewhere with this. And now I got another setback. That's that's what happens a lot of times in life when you are committed to a journey. Are you going to be committed when things keep showing up in our lives that we are not anticipating? And when people don't understand the journey, what are you going to do? Are we going to quit? No, we can't quit the journey. Are we going to give up? No, never give up, never. Now, did I want to give up? Yes. I was crying like crazy because I had worked for this. I thought I deserved better. I thought. But sometimes when life challenges us, we have to push back. Not push back at people, because I believe that where I went is a place that people get help, and perhaps they do better with them than they did with me. I'm not knocking the place where I went, because I prayed before I went, and I thought that was the right decision. What happens when you think that you made a right decision and it turns out wrong? What happens when you're so pumped up and you're so excited and now you're flat on your back again? I mean again. What you gonna do? And I just was crying and crying, and my sister called me and she said, Dorcas, are you okay? And I said, well, and she said, you what? And she said, well, how did you get there? And I told her I went in a cab. And she said, Dorcas, I didn't even know you'd been nowhere. And I told her what happened. But I know that what happened to me was a learning experience. Because if I can't verbalize and you don't want me to talk, I don't belong in your facility. That's just the bottom line. And if I know that I can't bend over and I haven't been doing these things for years, and then I let somebody talk me into them, I got what I took. And when I got back, I couldn't walk. And so that was on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Not only was my body in pain because of moving my body, but I couldn't stop the nerve in my back from just going crazy. And I had to lay there. And then Thursday night, I believe it was, I was like, God, I got to get up from here. And I was able the next day just to keep laying on my walker to go eat, because I'm committed. I'm not going to go back to not eating. And I went in there and I ate, and I made an omelet. I just did different things. And then I'd come back, and then I said, I can't sit in this state. Lay down. I would sit up in the bed and just try to do different things. And then it was late that night, and then I would cry again. And oh my God, how is this happening to me? God, you know I could walk, and now I can't walk again. And it was about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And I just heard in my spirit, shift the channel. Shift the channel. Change the channel. Change what you're talking in your mind. Do something different. And at 3 o'clock in the morning, I came over here to my office and I wrote a song. And when I was writing the song, I was getting released. And I couldn't sing the song out loud, but I could type it. And I couldn't type good because my hands were just shaking like uncontrollable, because the nerve in my back and that runs down my leg, I'm sitting on it. I took my one finger and I typed that song out. And the name of the song is called Jealous. Jealous. And it's about God. And that song is amazing because it's, what if I want you just for myself? Wow. And so I just was typing and typing and typing with one hand because I couldn't stable my hands on the keyboard. Why do I tell you guys these kind of things? Because I'm trying to tell us, never give up, never. I'm not telling you this weight loss thing is easy, because I promise you before God, it is not. I have had so many different challenges going into 5 years. Losing weight, not losing weight. Eating, not wanting to eat. Forcing myself. Sometimes you got to eat. And then once I got into the rhythm of eating, I need to eat, and I love to eat. Cooking and not cooking. Sometimes buying salads out when I could do something different. So there has been many ups and downs and challenges. And I want to challenge you and challenge us that no matter what is going on in your world, keep going. I'm not saying it's easy. It's not easy all the time. But this is what I want to tell you about God. He won't always leave you down. Now, I was wondering, how am I going to go to church Sunday? So I started walking. And when I walked out of my room on Thursday night, let me tell you this. I said, Dorcas, stand up. I know that nerve is jumping like crazy, but it's been jumping like that before, once before. Go ahead and stand up. And I stood up, and it was running up and down, just the part that I sit on it. And oh my goodness, and my hands were shaking. I stood up. Now walk in your room. So I walked in my room. So every time I got up to go to the restroom, I would say, stand up. And I'd stand up. And I want to tell you that when I went to church on Sunday morning, it was difficult. I had to take some medicine to go. But I was not walking on my walker leaning over. I wouldn't have went to church if I was leaning over the way that I have to do in the house. The way that I had to do in the house. Because that's not the way that I do it now. And I want to come back to tell you, no matter what you're going through, that sounds so bad, especially when we're going through things and we're needing someone to understand us. We're needing someone to understand us. We're crying out for understanding. And it seems like everybody is taking for granted what we're doing. I get it. I don't understand your struggle. I don't understand what you're going through. I'm not saying I understand. I hate when people tell me that they understand. You can't understand my plight unless you walk in my shoes. I can't understand your plight unless I walk in your shoes. So that's not what I'm saying. That's not even Dorcas. But this is what I am saying. No matter how hard it is, there is an open door. Just keep walking. You might be at the wrong door. You might feel like I'm just going to give up. Don't give up. If you don't do nothing but come to this channel and hear, never give up, never, don't give up. Don't give up. Fight. Fight against your own thoughts. Change the channel. Say, I got to think about something else. Do something different. Even if you can't get up, do something different. Turn on the TV. Turn on some music. Go on your phone. I mean, do something different. Because if you lay and waddle in pain, you will continually be out of peace. You won't have no peace. Strive for peace. And I'm going to tell you something. If you want peace, be thankful. That's what I would say. God, I thank you for allowing me to go through that situation. You can't be thankful and mad at the same time. And there was something done to me that I really didn't like and I really didn't appreciate, but I'm thankful for what happened. Not only there, but somewhere else. And I'm not going to go there because I'm thankful. Hey, this is Dorcas. I don't walk your journey, but I want you to know there's a lot of us that are hurting. A lot of people that are hurting in this world. And sometimes it seems like people could care less. But I want to tell you this. It's not everybody that don't care. There are still some caring and loving people in this world. There are still some people that care about what you care about. Everybody is not selfish and self-centered, and their life means more to them than trying to help you and understand where you are. So no matter what's going on in our lives, not in yours, in our lives, we got to keep going. And I'm telling you, I'm up. I can't do exercises like I normally could, but I'm back doing exercise. I'm back doing exercise. I can't do what I used to do. My back is very sore. It's very sore. But I am determined to keep on keeping on. I'm not going to quit. And I'm not going to let you quit either. You said, well, I started this and I'm not going to finish. Yes, you are. Come on. Come on. I don't care what you started. Let's keep going. I started a diet at the first of the year. And now I don't want to do it no more. Come on. Get back on it. Keep on going. And I was like, God, how did I get here? You know how I got there? I might be there, but I'm not where I used to be. Oh, no, I'm not there in my mind, and I'm not there in my body. My body is coming back in line. But the next time anybody try to do anything, I'm going to make sure that I protect that God has allowed me to work hard for. I'm telling you, I have worked hard to be who I am in my mind and in my body. And I refuse to let what happened to me ever happen again, because God is on my side. And when I heard Dorcas don't do it, and doing it because somebody else say do it, never again. So you got to listen and be compassionate on other people. But if you hear in your spirit or in your mind that this is not the thing that you need to be doing, listen. You got to listen. You got to pray, God, show me how to tell this person this is not going to work. And maybe I need to just go ahead and leave. Because if you can't hear me talk, then I can't walk the walk. And so that's what I'm saying. It's nothing, no indictment on nobody. It's just something that has happened. And I promise you before God, it will never happen again. Some things we have to turn away from. And some people we have to let go. And there's nothing wrong with letting go. My famous quote that I love more than any quote that I've ever quoted. It's not the way you start a relationship. It's the way you end it. And I ended that relationship in peace. In peace. That relationship is in peace. Why am I telling you then if I have peace? I'm telling you because no matter what we go through, no matter our struggle, don't let bitterness and anger and malice and wrath and I'm just going to tell you off and I'm going to do this and I didn't do that. I called back to try to resolve the issue. I said what I needed to say, and I didn't say it in an angry or hateful way. Because if you don't resolve issues the right way, you will face that issue again. So let's be careful how we end relationships. Some relationships have just got to be ended right now in my life. But be careful how we do it. You don't have to be mad to leave. We shouldn't be mad to leave. But if it's not working for you, and you pray and you ask God, then you need to let it go. Because if you go back in that situation, it ain't nobody's fault but your own. Hey, this is Dorcas Chandler at DorcasGazelle.com. I love you all. I love you. I love you. I love you. And if no one has told you today that they love you, let me tell you, I love you. You be blessed. Until next time, bye-bye.